on the water in good time again today. We got to do 2 kilometers of ports today, a good chunk of which we want to single carry for the first time all trip. We intended on single carrying more on this trip, but the injuries prevented that from happening. It's just we didn't want to put extra weight on injured bodies, so we took it the long way by double carrying. But 2 kilometers seems like a lot to portage right now with the state of our bodies. We're just worn down. But if we get these done today, then that leaves only 1 more portage for the entire trip, and that's the one back to the car. So it'll feel pretty amazing to get those done. But a lot of portages on the trip. I have no idea how many. Dozens and dozens. So here's our whole kit. Fishing tackle box, pack, tripod, 2 rods, camera bag, food barrel, 2 paddles plus a backup, 2 life jackets, and a little day bag, plus the canoe with 2 trolling mounts and 1 camera mount. So I'll be taking the canoe with the food barrel. We can now fit the camera bag inside of the food barrel, but then Aaron's gonna have to take everything else, pretty much. So we'll both have our hands full here. It's funny, we're just single carrying now. We intended on single carrying for the back 2/3 of the trip. Yeah. But it just didn't happen. Self-preservation was the goal instead. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. A couple of 750 meter portages, nothing too bad. Yeah, it's hefty.
Okay.
You alright?
I got it.
And your tail for balancing?
Can you hold it from the bottom so I can...
Yep.
Okay, that's better. Yeah.
That's good. How does it feel?
Like a burden. A bit heavy, but
yeah,
manageable at the moment.
Take it slow.
1 step at a time.
These little bungee loops secure the rods, and then on this side they can just lean on the seat. Oh.
How'd that feel?
Burned my shoulders, but otherwise it's doable. You?
About the same. Burned my lower back, but it's nice not to have to go back.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, that was good.
My pack, the canoe with all the mounts and everything and the rods is over 70 pounds. The barrel with my camera is definitely 30, so I'm at 100 for sure. And I'm thinking you're a good 80, yeah. 85 maybe.
Yeah. What is it?
Yes. Oh, it's a little walleye.
Oh. Come here. Power when you grab that. There you go.
Jessie Lake is a pretty nice one. We've got the wind kind of with us right now, but we're going to be turning into it later today, and it really might foil our progress.
We just finished 2 750 meter ports that we single carried for the first time on this trip. And it was tough, but now I much prefer the single carry, and now that we've done it, it makes me never want to go back to a double carry ever again.
We're single carrying the last 2 for sure.
Yeah, we got 2 more left on this trip, and we've decided to single carry them. So that's the plan.
All 4 ports are behind us. They weren't bad at all. We're on Pickerel Lake, back where we started. We got like 25 kilometers to cover on this lake before we're done with this trip. But we're feeling great. Feels nice to have almost all the ports behind us, and you can practically taste the beer and nachos now. And some hockey night in Canada on Saturday night. Can't wait. Been an awesome trip, but we're missing home too. The distance we need to cover across Pickerel Lake is almost all to the east, and Yeah, there's a strong east wind today, which is the least common wind direction too, so it's a bit of a bummer, but we've had pretty good luck with the wind this trip. We ran into a couple of really nice couples on the portages, one from Winnipeg and then another from Sudbury. We got some weather updates from them. It's supposed to rain tonight, overnight, maybe some tomorrow, and then probably the following day. So we're actually planning on packing up and getting out of here a little early so we have a bit of time to relax at home before going back to work. So that kind of feels good to know that we're just missing some rainy weather. Stopped here on Pickerel Lake for lunch. One more curry meal, probably the fifth or sixth time we've had it. And yeah, we're ahead of schedule. We could have just lingered, but it just wasn't really a sense of purpose in that. You know, like you're just kind of killing time. We're both almost on our books, like kind of windy if you want to go fishing on your own. So we're content. We're content with the trip, and this is gonna be our last night. Just gonna head home, have a good weekend at home before we have to head back to work. Just resting my back on the ground here. We got to camp, finally pushed through the wind to make enough progress to feel satisfied with it. Got the canoe well away from the water with all the wind. And a nice red pine site for our last night. It's hard to believe. We're no longer rationing, so whatever's in the food barrel, we can have anything we like. Grabbing some chocolate, got pineapple. There's not a lot else.
We feast.
What would be your perfect meal right now?
Nachos.
That's it? Anything else?
Beer.
Yep. Sounds right.
Mm-hmm. The milkshake. Chocolate. Yeah. That's been our craving. All mine for most of the trip, I think.
Yeah, beer, pizza, nachos. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Hopefully this wind isn't blowing anything in too serious. We're not looking for a crazy thunderstorm to send us out. Oh, I'm gonna miss this. You little creep. Get out of here. Go. What a cutie. So our final meal that we need to cook tomorrow, we're just gonna do a quick one. Eat the last of our multivitamins, all the cheese, shredded cheddar and Parmesan. That can go. All of our dehydrated stuff is in there. Mushrooms, spinach, onions, bell peppers, a little salt, a little pepper, a little sriracha. It's gonna be a really good meal. Sausage pasta. Oh yeah.
That's a meal.
That's a doozy.
That's a meal. This is our final night out here in Quetico on our 2-week trip. It's been a really amazing experience, and being out here, it's been really fun for me. I grew up, my parents took me camping here all the time, and it really had me reflecting on those times of being a kid and being out here with my family. And I just wanted to take a minute actually and thank both my parents, Barb and Bill, for bringing me out here and instilling that love of outdoors in me, and also for being just such an inspiration. Both my parents are amazing travelers and adventurers, and they're a big inspiration to me on a daily basis. So thanks guys, love you, and yeah, we've had a great time.
Last night. You tired?
Yeah. You?
Not really. Kind of excited.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet to end, but I'm ready.
Yeah, we have a lot to look forward to.
Hopefully tomorrow cooperates a little bit. It's not horrible out.
Yeah, hopefully, if there is a wind, it hasn't picked up yet.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll get stuck here.
Drat.
Okay, sweet dreams.
Love you.
Love you. Finished my book. And this is a good chapter, The Way of a Canoe. There is a satisfaction in reaching some point on the map, in spite of the wind and weather, in keeping a rendezvous with some campsite that, in the morning, seemed impossible of achievement. In a canoe, the battle is yours and yours alone. It is your muscle and sinew, your wit and courage against the primitive forces of the storm. That is why, when, after a day of battle, your tent is pitched at last in the lee of some sheltering cliff, the canoe up safe and dry, and supper underway, there is an exaltation that only canoemen know. There's a ridiculous thunderstorm going on right now. Like several lightning strikes per second, non-stop. Seems to be staying on the horizon, but the rain has started, so maybe it's coming. Hey, hon.
Yeah.
Have you been awake for this?
Yeah.
It's insane, eh?
Yeah.
I don't remember ever seeing so much lightning.
It's so much.
Non-stop.
It's pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't get too close. Right now it's on the horizon.
Yeah.
It's like someone's firing a cannon.
Pardon me?
It's like someone's firing a cannon.
Yeah.
It's nice being off the ground in the hammocks, eh? Coming down heavy now.
pretty crazy storm going on out there right now. Heavy rain, lots of lightning, loud thunder. Woohoo! Oh my. Pretty happy to be off the ground in my hammock tonight. That's my headlight, that's not the lightning. I do have to pee. That's not very good. This storm's wild. I don't even know if you can hear me over the rain. I'm pretty cozy in my hammock right now. Pretty happy to be off the ground with all this rain too. Woohoo! And that thunder.
The wind is blowing the rain in sideways a little. Getting a little damp. Yeah, I got a bit damp. You?
Not too bad.
Wind is picking up big time already, so we gotta go. Wow. Wind is already whipping against us. Back-to-back east winds, which should be pretty rare. Fighting against us on Pickerel Lake as we exit. I'm so glad we dug in yesterday and kept going and fighting the wind to make today as short as possible. It's already going to be plenty of work. What time is it? 7:15. Slept in a little bit. We'll make it. But at least we're packing up, not in the rain.
Yeah.
For the 13th time out of 13 on this trip.
Yeah, it's a big win.
Yeah.
It's a crazy storm.
Yeah, absolutely wild.
Yeah.
I was just telling Aaron, I've never seen lightning that frequent. There were thousands of lightning flashes.
A couple seconds.
I didn't see any chain lightning. I just saw the flash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it was sheet lightning, but
Yeah. No, it was,
anyway.
it was something.
Yeah.
It was close for a while. There was some noisy.
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
saying it sounded like cannons.
Yeah. And after knowing that like a family was hit by lightning on this lake
Yeah.
last month
Yeah.
on an island, it's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
That was
boy.
a good one.
Yeah. All right. Well,
All
let's
right,
get
back
going.
to the car and get some munchies.
Yeah. Final pack up of the trip. I'm not gonna miss this.
No. It's tedious.
13 nights.
13 nights, right?
14 days.
Yep.
I've had enough of packing that up.
We're paddling away from our final site for this trip. I'm eating my breakfast, a Cliff Bar, and we actually have a tailwind for the last couple kilometers.
Yeah, the wind changed from east to southwest in the time that we were packing up.
So, we're heading home.
Packed up and heading out. End of 2 weeks. I think I said this before, but it felt like a long time, but it flew by at the same time. Like thinking about launching here at Stanton Bay 2 weeks ago. It's so hard to believe. Yeah, it's surreal. Only a few more kilometers to go. A sense of sadness is setting in. There's a hint of yellow in the canopy ahead too, so it's like it just kind of feels like the end is coming, not just for this trip, but for this canoe tripping season. Still another month till things really start to change, and 2 months till the tamaracks turn golden, so And we got a new stove for our hot tent. Lots to look forward to. It's just amazing how quickly the paddling season goes, especially when COVID takes a big bite out of the front half of it. I know a lot of Americans wanted to come to this park and to Canada in general this season, and my heart goes out to you. Like, it was the right decision to close the border based on how things are going respectively on either side, but I feel for you. Is that a beaver?
Yeah.
So this video is for you. Hope it helps a little. She starts. We got a few snacks. No one broke in and stole them. Oh yeah. Thank you, next. On to the next trip. Thank you, Quetico, though. Do you want M&Ms or do you want munchies?
I would like both. Let's get the munchies. We've had M&Ms.
All right, let's have at the munchies. Here we go. Oh, okay. Just a little greasy junk.
Oh yeah, pretzels.
Quickly, yeah, eat all the pretzels. Eat those stupid pretzels. Oh, no. That one.
That one's gonna burst into flames last.
It'll last the longest without burning.
Okay. That one's yours. That one's mine.
Okay.
You going?
Yep. We're currently putting things in the coals and seeing, betting on which one will last longer. No considerations, just pure glory for the victory. There are a lot of little things like this that don't get captured. Hummingbirds we saw on this trip. A spider, this big spider was crawling across the water toward our canoe as like a life raft out in the lake. And it wasn't going to make it, but then it spewed out a spider web into Aaron's face and tried to get up there, but we got away.
It was such a big spider that we I thought it was a little rodent.
Simultaneous combustion.
Oh my goodness.
It's a draw.
Oh. Anyway, I thought it was a rodent, but it was actually a rat or a spider running across the water. It was horrible. That was funny.
Any other moments?
Yeah, I caught a fish, and when I put my paddle behind me, dropped it. So
dropped your paddle in the water.
Paddle's floating away, but that's fine. We'll get it. I'm reeling in the fish, and it crosses the paddle about a couple feet past it, and then it spits the hook, and my line wraps perfectly lassos my paddle, so I could reel it in.
Couldn't do it again in a million years.
It was hilarious.
So tomorrow is 2 weeks here. What were your highlights and your lowest moments? Maybe two of each or so.
2 of each. One of the highlights was the snapping turtle. That was a really cool encounter. I think he'd been fed before, probably off the rock, but he came up and investigated us, and we had a pretty good interaction with him. That was fun.
Another highlight?
Another highlight. So my other highlight I would say would just be like certain times, like the afternoon on Baird Island. That was really enjoyable. Just that experience. Just those certain moments where it just felt really good, like our rest day. Like really enjoyable times.
You like the really restful times.
Yeah, I guess. But there's just, to me, like there's kind of some moments where it just felt really like in the moment, I guess. Low lights would be day 7 and 9. So dropping the net was rough. That just turned into a really rough day.
Yeah.
And then that was day 7, and then day 9 was when I rolled my ankle. That was a rough one. Halfway through that really tough port, and on a day with a lot of ports. So yeah, those are my two.
Okay. My highlights are Louisa Falls.
Right.
That was awesome. Just a magical spot. And then maybe the hike was the biggest fish. That was nice. Or the old growth pine as well.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. That's what comes to mind immediately. And then the lowest moments were having my main camera malfunction. That was super disappointing. It was the worst timing for it to happen on this longest trip of our lives so far. So I was pretty bummed about that for quite a while. And then right after, so that morning I discovered that my main camera wasn't working well. That is also the morning that Aaron dropped the net and we got turned around on a long portage. That was the lowest. And then we got into camp and there was a thunderstorm, and it was just kind of a stressful, exhausting day. Those would be mine. Were there any things we brought on the trip that we didn't use at all, that were dead weight?
Bug shirts?
Yeah, the bug shirts. But if you get to say that you didn't need your bug shirt at all, even in August, that's something to cheer for.
Yeah.
So it's double-edged sword. We brought them and we never put them on, but that's a great thing.
Dead weight.
Pocket knife.
Oh yeah, I see. But that's peace of mind for me in the hammock at night when you have the bear spray and I don't have anything.
That's true. Have you had it at your side before?
Yeah, I keep it in that. It's like one of the main reasons I wanted it. So no, we haven't really needed it, but it's like we haven't needed the bear spray either.
Fair. Anything else that we brought that we didn't use at all? Must be something.
Ramen noodles.
Well, besides, we might have needed that if we had stayed the full 16, 15 plus the next morning.
Not much. I mean, we didn't bring a lot of stuff this time.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So I made a special list before this trip for items that would be especially necessary on a long trip. Lip balm with some SPF. Yes, we needed that. Laxative. You wouldn't want your trip to be stopped by not being able to go. We didn't need them, but it's good to have. Rash cream, zinc oxide cream. We used it. Our inner thighs were chafing a little initially, and armpits. And we used it. Worked well. Q-tips. Did you?
I used them once.
Okay. I did not. I forgot that we had them. Vitamins. Yeah, we used them. Extra sunglasses. Didn't need it, but you would hate to be like if one of us lost our sunglasses on day 2, to be 12, 13 more days without sunglasses in this broad daylight. Be not good for your corneas, if nothing else. more toothpaste and toilet paper, but we brought 3 rolls of toilet paper just in case. Only used 1. We haven't even quite finished it. Power bank to charge my phone because I use it as a GPS. That was useful, the power bank. I've used it all. Clean clothes and chips in the car.
Yes.
That'll be nice when we get back. Yep. Okay. So laxatives were really, I think.
But again, those are, it's like the bear spray.
Yeah.
You don't need it, but you still don't leave it behind.
Exactly.
You bring it with you hoping not to need it.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on a long trip? Long trip versus like a week or less trip?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think it takes some
stable flies. Had barely any mosquitoes, no black flies, no deer flies really, a few horse flies, but the stable flies have been around. They've been annoying. Go on.
I think like a long trip, it's important to plan your trip in terms of days of long ports, long paddles, wearing yourself out, shorter days, stuff like that. If you just go, like we're used to going pretty hard for a week, so that is not super sustainable for 2 weeks.
Yeah, the body runs out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you can kind of plan in that time, for me, I was surprised at how much I missed contact with my family. So I was saying if I could check in with them once a week and just quick hello, then I don't know. It's a different experience, but I do like the long trip's pretty fun just to get into, and you're not even thinking about the ending for so much because it's so far away.
You kind of are, but at least you're instead of being surprised at how fast time is going, you're surprised by how many days you have left compared to normal. Like we're on day 5, but we still have up to 11 left if we want.
On day 7, being a weekend and not even halfway done. Yeah.
But I think overall we've established that we prefer, if you can take 2 weeks off over this season, we prefer 1 week here, a 9-day trip, and another 9-day trip connecting 2 weekends later in the season. But it was a great experience to have. But it's nice to look forward to 2 things throughout the year, and there's diminishing marginal returns, of course, on a long trip or a large amount of anything. And we've experienced that to a degree, but it's still been fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you want to explain why we're leaving tomorrow instead of staying Friday, instead of staying Saturday and then leaving Sunday morning?
About halfway through the trip, we decided to try and exit on the Saturday, realizing that it would be nice to have a day at home before returning to work. And then a couple days later, probably 10, 11, around day 10 and 11, we kind of just decided that we are done most of our loop and having
a little later than that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we kind of just decided that it might be nice to get out, and just in case we got stuck, we could get stuck on Pickerel.
Yeah, we could get stuck here and end up windbound, so you don't want to leave the whole lake. I mean, we could almost have been windbound if the wind was a little worse today. Stuck at one end of the lake, so
yeah, and so we decided. And then also today we got a weather forecast from people that we passed, and they said the next couple days there's forecast to be
some rain.
So we figured no point stretching it out to hang out in the rain.
Yeah, she misses the cats too. I miss hockey. So yeah, we're gonna have the best of both worlds, get home and relax a little before going back to regular life. And we still got everything we wanted to out of this loop. So I've mentioned that my camera was malfunctioning, but I didn't really specify. I didn't want to draw attention to it. It's like shaking. It'll randomly shake and the frame will just jump a little. So that, as I mentioned, was just incredibly disappointing for that to happen on this trip. But I kept recording with the camera in the hopes that some of it will be salvageable, but tried to use only non-essential shots on this camera that I'm on right now. So it was a bummer, but hopefully we'll be able to salvage something and make it work. And it's not too big of a bother to watch. This camera went underwater 3 years ago. I took it in for repairs and they said all the internal components were corroding and it was just a matter of time. I kept using it because it was functioning fine. A month passed, a year passed, 3 years passed, and then it chose this time to finally bug out. It's taken some knocks too. I don't blame the camera at all. It's been a wonderful camera. Probably gonna buy the exact same one as soon as I get home. Feels great to lay back in a chair and have lower back support. Rest my lower back. It also feels great to stop worrying about losing the GoPros and dropping them in the water. If I was going to do this again, I'd get more smaller memory cards so we're not scared about losing one.
Losing all our footage.
Losing all your footage for the whole trip. And I would probably tether a little floaty onto the GoPros. Problem is when you do that, the wind blows it around and you end up hearing that on the audio, like this tapping noise, but it's pretty scary. We were paranoid we were going to drop the GoPros in the lake. And the window's already up a little bit, a south wind, and we need to turn around and say something about the erratic.
No. I've had my cell phone off and packed away the whole trip, but I don't know if you can hear it or not. An alarm just started going off.
It won't stop.
And it won't stop. It was 8 a.m. on a Wednesday. I have no idea what alarm that is. It's not. I mean, it must be one that I don't normally have an alarm in the morning. That's hilarious. I'm hoping it's gonna stop, but it doesn't sound like it. Shut up! My phone's off. It's not just airplane mode.
Usually it turned on.
No, I think maybe the alarms go off even when the phone's off sometimes.
I don't think so.
It would not stop, so we had to pull over and pull it out.
So I scrubbed it with soap and then I scrubbed it with soap and then to try and, oh my god, I can't talk. So I scrubbed it with soap. Just resting my back on the ground here.
Tell me or the
Camera. Feels great to relax in a nice chair. Rest my lower back. And what were you just saying?
I feel like the selfies. There's that one at the bottom too.
This is a video.
Cool.
Okay, we're about to see Louisa Falls.